And like I said, we give our attendees a few minutes to get settled. So the next couple of minutes, people will be wandering in. If anybody's joined us, you still have time to grab a cup of coffee or lunch. Those of you who have joined will be getting underway in just a minute. I think we can start with the housekeeping. I'd like to welcome all of you who joined the webinar. I'm sitting in for Will Mucker. My name is Joe Fulvio. Welcome to the Camel Plan Weekly webinar, where we're going to talk today about build to rent housing. I don't think we've had a presentation on this before. It looks exciting. So let's get the housekeeping stuff out of the way. The heretofores and notwithstanding stuff. We have a disclosure we have to read. Our lawyers make us do this. Views expressed by speakers at CAMA webinars are those of the speakers only, may not reflect those of CAMA, its members, or employees. CAMA does not guarantee the accuracy of information provided by speakers. Professional advisors should be consulted before implementing any options presented. CAMA absolutely does not endorse or recommend any individual or organizations, including speakers. CAMA does not act as nor offers the services of an investment advisor, CPA, realtor, attorney, If tax and legal accounting or investment or similar expertise is required, the services of a competent professional should be sought. So now that we've got that out of the way, um, we have two gentlemen joining us today to discuss the next gen energy homes in the build to rent market. Gunter Freistatter joins us. He's presently CEO of Morninga Capital Advisors, where he's done over $1 billion in multifamily syndications. He's also built affordable housing and energy efficient mountain home community. And he's heading up this initiative that we're going to talk about today. His partner is also with us, Robert Amick, lifelong construction, has been involved in, became a real estate broker, but his construction activities took him into infrastructure, townhome development, affordable housing, airport site development, warehousing, and commercial space. And in addition to all of that, he found time to be a firefighter and rose to the rank of battalion chief in Punta Gorda, Florida. So, gentlemen, I'm going to let you guys have it. I'll mute my mic, and I'll be here to monitor questions and answers. Those of you who have questions, please do not hesitate to submit them in the chat box or in the Q&A box as it appears on your screen. Guys, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Welcome everybody to this exciting webinar for the next 45 minutes or so. Today we want to talk about build to rent, a brand new asset class. Not really brand new, it's 10 years old already, but it really is now the front burner of every investor. Let me just make a brief disclaimer here for our presentation. This is really for educational purpose only. And when you want to read all this, be my guest. I'm just need to share this. Let's get started here. We have a presentation here. We want to just talk first about our team. Robert and I, we met about 5 years ago. I purchased some lots for him when I purchased manufactured homes and built them in Punta Gorda, just in the onset of the year 2020. I'm in the real estate involved since for 30 years, went successfully through the meltdown in 2008 and came out as a commercial lender. First I did fix and flip and wholesale single family homes and purchased foreclosed homes between 2010 and 2014. And then I learned about private lending. I became a private commercial lender, worked with 3 large family offices, and we together with 5, 6 employees, we basically originated about 900 loans between 2015 and 2018. And then at the same time, 2018, I started investing myself in syndicating with 2 larger operators, multifamily units, basically in Texas and also in Florida, in Orlando, and here on the west coast of Florida. And then I started in COVID hit, was the perfect time to start new construction. I heard about build to rent back in 2016, but I realized maybe new construction is the next best thing to go. The fix and flip time is more and more challenging. The profit margins became smaller, but here's a new opportunity. Everybody wants a new home and everybody deserves an affordable home. We built about 12 homes in Punta Gorda and Cape Coral. And last year we started building single family homes built on scattered lots, what we call scattered lots. They're 10,000, 11,000 square feet lots. They're about 80 feet wide and about 120, 125 feet deep. And then we started, Robert, I met Robert. We started together the company Next Gen Energy Homes because we really want to focus on sustainability and energy efficiency and creating a new type of building envelope. Let me hand over the mic here to Robert.
How you doing? Basically, as Carl was saying, yes, I've I've been in the fire service. I was in the fire service for 20 years. I was born and raised here in this community, 1965 to present. And I've been involved in the construction industry in one way or another throughout my entire life, as well as through my fire career. I taught building construction in the fire career as well. We've been through many ups and downs through the years of the economy, and we've always been able to change our strategies to keep up with it, you know, and up until and including this situation we're in now with the high interest rates. But we've built everything from HUD homes, commercial properties, city parks. Currently, we're doing approximately 280,000 square feet of tilt slab warehouses in the industrial area of Punta Gorda, and everything's booming there pretty well. And of course now we're doing these into these homes here, and you'll hear a little bit more about later. But basically, as far as my personal resume, you see it there on the tally board. We could read it forever, but I've been a real estate broker for over 20 years, and of course been in building industry for at least 43 years since I was a teenager.
Let me share with you what's the most important for investors. Investors asking questions because the market is challenging, the economy is challenging, we are having rising interest rates, and the basic question is my investment, whatever I invest in, is it safe? And what do we do when the economy collapses totally? What about my money? Is it still safe? Do I have a good cash flow or not? And about 83% of all investors, the biggest fear is how can I preserve my money for the next generation and for my retirement? And here the basic construction challenges we are facing, everybody's facing today. And again, let me ask Robert to address those issues.
One of the most, besides the interest rates, the most challenges is the because there's a lot of building going on. We've ran into over the past couple of years shortages on subcontractors, and of course material shortages, many different things to get past. But over the years, in our construction company, we basically designed our company not to have to rely on subcontractors, as well as we've honed our process as far as material procurement and warehousing of materials, so we don't have to wait on others. So we basically streamlined everything. We have everything in-house. We do everything actually in-house other than air conditioning and plumbing. We do electrical, we do the concrete, we do the land acquisition, we do the land clearing, we build the walls, we put the framing in, we do the insulation. Basically everything was on our payroll, and we basically streamline it so we can get a product out after permitting within 4 months, whereas most of the other builders in the community takes them anywhere from 18 to 24 months to get something out, because they're reliant on subcontractors and they're not pre-buying and warehousing materials to build with.
So what is the current state of the real estate market today? As we all know, ever since COVID, things have changed for all of us. People from large, concentrated, dense areas like New York, all the metro areas around the country, many of them moving south. South means to the Sun Belt. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and of course, Texas. A lot of people moved actually to Florida. Over 500,000 moved between July 21 and July 22. And five of the biggest cities, five of the largest cities where people move to are in Florida. It's Orlando, Sarasota, Tampa, Cape Coral, and including Miami, where the home prices are really high today. So, and as of even of today, the trend is continuing, and we have about 1,200 people moving per day into the state of Florida. And let's get started with this, the new asset class why we are meeting here today. It's called build to rent. when the fix and flip era kind of slowed down in 2018, 2019, many of those rehabs were sold, but the profit margin became smaller and smaller. And people started building houses. And it started with communities, actually. Larger builders like Lennar or others started building 150, 200 home communities, and they called it built to rent, only for the purpose of renting. And then in 2020, people realized we also need to go after the infill lots. There's a lot of lots in the state of Florida which are called infill lots. They're basically built on scattered lots, they call them. They were platted many, many years ago, over 20 or 30 years in some areas. And then slowly, even today, we see a lot of empty lots. They are slowly filling up and people start building. And the landscape about build to rent is changing right now because more and more investors are coming into that space, including institutional investors like Goldman and Sachs and other people. So why do we talk here today? Why investors should invest today? Why now? Because number one, investors looking for two type of products. They either want to buy for themselves small portfolios, maybe one home, maybe three homes, maybe five homes. Why? Because whatever you own today, it's a new product. You don't need a rehab. Your insurance cost is lower. But the ultimate goal is to have a stable, long-term income stream. And that's why we started last year, Robert and I, because we realized investors want those homes. They don't want to build themselves. Those homes are not available for purchase. But when we build a few, then people will come and they buy 5 or 10 or 20 homes, which the smaller hedge funds doing continuously today. They're buying 5 or 10 homes, and we are building for those hedge funds. Then there's not enough supply in the market today. And because the new housing starts is really down, and what's going to happen is according to statistics, next year, the next 2 years actually, maybe even next 3 years, there's not enough new homes available for buyers to buy or for renters to rent. So we have presently a shortage of 8 million single-family homes around the country, but the analysts expecting it more shortages coming by 2028 because most of the multifamily homes come to market this year and next year. Where do people going to be? And we have a large increase in population in many places around the country. So on the second factor is there are 7 million millennials entering the age between 31 and 34 for the next few years. And they're about moving out from their parents' home and want to really start their own families. So that's the new household formation. Where do they go? They cannot afford a brand new home. They don't have the 10% or 30 or $40,000 down payment to buy a home at high interest rates. And they realize, man, I can rent a home for 2,300. It's not a two-bedroom apartment where I pay the rent I own my own house. And the young people, they are looking for new type of living spaces. They're looking specifically in areas where you have good schools, where you have a nice fenced backyard and other type of amenities what they're really looking for. And that's where we are coming in. We are building for that asset class, built to rent, for tenants, for young people. But it's not just only younger people or the millennials, it's also the older generation. The baby boomers realized, hey, I sell my house today, now they can't sell it. Where do we go? Okay, we just rent a house, but where do we rent a house? They're not really sure. So, but here they have the opportunity. Hey, they go down here to Southwest Florida, they're renting a house for 2 years, and then maybe they move somewhere else. So we have different people can go to different places. And build to rent is popular not just where we are, it's popular in many other places too. And then the question is why? What's the real thing why people want to have a house to live rather than a multifamily unit? Number one, they have more space. The houses are anywhere between 1,200, 1,300, or 1,600 square feet. There are no zero lot lines. They are full 1/4 acre lot. There are no HOAs. There are no parking restrictions. So you can park your RV you have, your boat, your trailer, whatever. But the new generation, what they're also looking for is to really buy a sustainable home. That means they're energy efficient. That means they don't have a $300 monthly bill to pay for air conditioning or heating. And they want to have a choice of construction materials. And that's really what we provide, especially down here in Florida, where we're facing the hurricanes and where we're facing rainstorms and other issues. And the basic purpose for the investors is they wanna buy something today or invest in something today, what makes number one financial sense. Number two, which gives them the continuous income stream, but also they can either hold it and wait until 2 or 3 years, the interest rates go down. But one thing is for sure, the prices will go up. So that means there's an appreciation on houses you buy today. At the same time, I want to mention the houses you're building in what type of price range, what's the market value. Today, it might be, they're not $400,000 homes, they're just $345,000 or $360,000 homes. They're way below 400,000. But this asset's going to grow, the value is going to grow in the future. And the next, we are starting now going into our geography. Where do we really build?
So this is basically the overlay of the area. This is a Southwest Florida. This is Port Charlotte. This is where we're focused at. This is where we're based. This area is, for lack of a better term, it's a quaint little town. It's not really busy and bustling. That's why a lot of the investors and a lot of the institutional buyers are having homes built here as a community that's kind of been sleepy. It's not a congested city. It's up and coming for sure, as you'll see in a couple other slides here. But in the reality, our proximity to the Gulf beaches out in Grove City and at Don Pedro Island and Boca Grande, where the properties are 5 million and above, within 15 minutes. If you see that yellow highlighted circle, that's where we're focused to build on. We're situated right there at the main center of Port Charlotte, as well as just to the north is the main center of Northport, Sarasota County. It's a very hot area there. A lot of huge developments going in there and a lot of commercial properties being developed there as well. So it's a new town, if you will, area.
Let me add to this here. While we are talking here and you see slide after slide, feel free to ask any questions, put them in the chat box, and either about the location of the properties or the lifestyle or any other questions you have regards constructions. So why Southwest Florida? I give it back to actually Southwest Florida, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. It's the hometown of Robert.
This is what I was just talking about. This is the map for behind all this information here. The Sunseekers Resort, $700+ million resort, was just completed this year. Actually, it's owned by the Allegiant Airlines, which has taken up home in our local airport. We don't have an international airport here. The Allegiant Airlines took in about 5 years ago, and which is what's breathing the life into the community. It's always been, one of the number one spots in the Forbes magazine for the greatest city in the city of Punta Gorda to live for many, many years running, even since the early 90s. And but there just wasn't, we had a lot of single family development, but not a lot of commercialization. It's more like a bedroom community, but now the commercial's coming. As I was saying earlier, we're building warehousing. We're building a little over 200,000 square foot of the manufacturer warehousing, whereas in the same neighborhood, there's another close to about 980,000 square feet that's already been built, and a little over 1 million square feet that's on the slate for next year to be built. So things are going crazy, and not only having the shortage of housing in Southwest Florida, period, but in Charlotte County, the housing shortage is going to be astronomical. People will start having to live in Lee County to commute here if we don't get enough houses on the ground here. That's why our plan is. That's why we're focused here.
This is some of the pricing down here right now. You can buy a nice house for $355,000. A little bit bigger houses, the medium price is closer to 400. And why is build to rent a great investment opportunity? It's really because the supply, the shortage of supply, but there's a high demand. And it really, what I mentioned earlier, it really creates a long-term stable income stream. And the home prices, whatever happens, at the end of the day, they're gonna go up, and the interest rate will adjust and come down. Hopefully, maybe early next year, maybe this year, we will see. So, what is the return on your investment? It's not a syndication; it's a fixed return of 12% with some monthly or quarterly payments and distributions. And people can invest for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, and that's just the basic investment. And any questions again you have, please feel free to reach out to us. And let's share a little bit about our new technology we are using for and the way we construct those homes.
Yeah, we're not, and again, we're not just building, stamping out homes, cheap homes that are throwaways for quick rental properties. We're building actually a very high quality home that is energy efficient as well as withstands the test of the hurricanes. One of the main styles and our ability to for the speed of the construction is that we have basically we are pouring solid walls instead of using 2x4 construction. We are pouring the walls are formed just like you would on a concrete slab, but it's vertical, and the walls are poured all in one shot. So basically the home is like a bunker. It has a flat roof, has a metal TPO, as well as with a parapet wall above the roof. So when the wind strikes the roof, it doesn't actually hit the roof. So during hurricane, these rental properties for the investor will be, they'll be damage free for the most part, unless something falls on them, etc. But as far as against the wind, they're going to withstand everything. We have 2 different models. We're also doing the CBS construction for the end user, for somebody who maybe wants just to purchase one rather than the institutional buyers. We're building them like Gunther was saying earlier. We're building in packs of 5, 10, and 20, and they love the product, and they're buying them up. The CBS construction is basically a concrete block, and it does have a traditional shingle roof on it, but you'll see in a couple next picture, I believe here. Can we change the next slide?
Yes, here we go. 1 second, it's here.
There you go. These homes right here, these are the ones with the poured wall construction and the flat roof. One of the other cost savings in our ability to speed, even though we have scattered lots, we concentrate and try to purchase the lots as close to them as possible. The ones there on the top right corner, you can see there's 7 or 8 in a row. You can't really see around the corner. Well, there's 8 homes there that we're building simultaneously all together, which obviously helps in the efficiency and the speed, but also kind of establishes when you sell the package, it's kind of a rental area. But these homes are renting very well. They're energy efficient, and again, they withstand the issues with the high winds of hurricanes, etc. Next slide. This one here, this is one more where maybe a family wants to purchase outside. Hedge funds are still purchasing these homes as well. These homes are either built in CBS block construction and or we do the poured wall technology with these as well. Where this one you're seeing here is a poured wall, full concrete walls, but it just has a different design. It's a little less progressive on the modern side, but it's a different product, different depending on who's the end buyer for us, which hedge fund is looking. So we have two different products to put out.
So let me just go over this briefly, our real strategy here. We really want to create massive value and affordability and really hiring people in the community and adding value in our community. We're building a sustainable and energy efficient development aimed really for the next generation. And we are building those homes really because to serve the build to rent demand, a community of people where they're gonna live and maybe hopefully stay there once they really like the lifestyle here. And the good thing for the investor is it creates a long-term rental income, but also we're renting it out for short-term rentals. Our homes are also built for higher sustainable energy efficient standards. And our goal is really to create an impact today for the next generation by saving energy costs and making it more affordable and adding values for our investors and for our clients. And in conclusion, I would like to say we want to share where we are today in 2024. There's again a very high demand on build to rent properties. More and more people decide to rent versus buying because everyone is concerned about the standing high of interest, today's interest rates, so the 7.5% or 7% or more, hopefully not. It's going to be here for some time. There's going to be more, there's less product on the market in 25 and 26 for the next 2 or 3 years. But the market values and the rents will increase over time, and the interest rates finally will decline at some point. Maybe in a year or earlier, we'll see. The most important thing again is the quality product. We are building an energy efficient building envelope, and we focus on sustainability for the future. We have the investors receive a very healthy 12% return, and the time frame for the investment is either 1, 2, or 3 years. And it's a win-win situation for everybody, for the investors, for the builders, and for our clients. And that really brings us to the end of our presentation. Please feel free to ask questions and ask Joe. This is our personal information here. Hold on a second. Feel free to contact us anytime.
You can leave that up. Actually, we do have some questions.
Yeah, 1 second. I try to get to the last page.
Sure. Yeah,
Can you see
stuff,
the phone number and
guys.
the email address is perfect.
Yes. Good stuff, guys. Yeah, we have a couple of questions. Nina asks, what's the minimum investment required? And she has another question after that.
The minimum investment is 100,000.
Okay. And then Gary, along the same lines, it says, okay, I can invest into the BTR program. Also, as an investor, am I able to purchase a home to rent?
Yes, both.
Okay. And, you know, that ties into a question that I had as a remote investor, and I have no experience in rental property management. Is there a service, or how do the hedge funds handle it in terms of collecting rent and maintaining the properties and fixing things that break?
Yes, number one, we ourselves have a property management company, and but we also have hired or have a contract with another larger management property. I mean, with a property management company, and the cost is usually anywhere between around 7 or 8%, which is less than normally the 10% of total income, of total annual income.
Okay. All right.
And since this is very important, since this is a new home, so we don't have to deal with skyrocketing insurance costs. The insurance is roughly about $1,500 a year, and the taxes are just around $3,500 on a yearly basis. And there's really, I'm not saying no maintenance costs, but we don't need to hold any money in reserves because it is a brand new homes, and they have construction warranties.
Okay. And along the lines of the insurance costs and keeping insurance costs down, Nina had also asked about increasing homeowners insurance and how that would affect the value in general of Florida real estate.
In general, it's a more complex situation because when you live close to the water or on the water, your rate's going to be high, period. There's nothing you can do about it. But because we have hurricane impact windows, we have, like, for example, we can have a flat roof on the house, so your cost of insurance is not really going sky high the next time we have an insurance raise.
And one of the other reasons that the location that we're in was because it's not the proximity of the water. We don't have these super high insurance rates there.
Nina, I hope that answered your questions, and Gary as well. Jim had a question about, said you mentioned selling BTR to hedge funds, but is your business model to build SFH, single family house, and hold? And I think, Jim, I hope I conveyed that. I read that verbatim, so I hope the question came across clear to our panelists.
Yeah, the model is to build and sell.
Okay. All right. All right.
And well, let's go back. In some cases, with some of the hedge funds want to have them already leased out.
Okay.
So we will get them we'll hold them until we have them leased out, and then we'll present the package fully leased.
Okay. All right, Jim, I hope that answers your question. Now, on the minimum, there's $100K to participate in the program. What about buying units and owning them in my portfolio as rental housing?
Yeah, both. I think I mentioned it. This really goes both way. We just need to talk. Absolutely.
Okay.
You can also buy, but it's going to be not the retail price. It's definitely less than today's retail.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions, so I want to thank both of you for coming over, Gunther and Robert. This is a new market for our audience, and I'd like to get some feedback. So if anybody does have any, please send. If you have any other questions, I can get them to Gunther and Robert, and get answers for you. So we hope you'll reach out to them as well. Anyway, thanks again for coming, everyone. Have a great holiday weekend, by the way.
Yes, everybody.
Yeah, everyone have a good holiday weekend. Thanks again, and take
All
care.
the best.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.